Hi, I'm Aaliyah, author of Prep Ahead Meals from Scratch and founder of Premeditated Leftovers. Today I'm going to be blanching green beans. Green beans are in season right now, so you can find great deals on them at the store. You might even have an abundance from your own garden. So in my cookbook on page 150, I have the blanching times for all of the vegetables that I use in different recipes in my cookbook. Just in case you find some on sale, you can take advantage of it by buying them in bulk and blanching them and then freezing them. So what we're going to do first, now I've saved this one, we've washed these and I've clipped off most of the ends. You don't have to snap them off with your fingers. I find it a little bit faster just to use my kitchen scissors, just like that, pull that off. And so then I have all of my ends done really quickly if I use kitchen scissors. Okay, so what I use is a pasta pot when I blanch mine. You can use any large pot, but if you have a pasta pot, we can put that in there. And then when I want to lift the green beans out after they're done cooking, then I can just pull the whole thing at once, so it's really easy. Okay, so I'm going to put green beans in, and I'm going to put green beans in until I feel like I can't put any more in and still have them coated. I might be able to get all of these in. This is about 2 cups, but you'll need to check based on your pot to make sure that there's not too much, that they're not actually in the water. Okay, I was able to get all 2 pounds. I said 2 cups, didn't I? I was able to get all 2 pounds of green beans into the pot. And so then what I do is I set a timer and we cook our green beans. We are going to blanch them for 3 minutes. So we're just going to leave them in there for 3 minutes, and then we're going to quickly move them over to the ice bath. The timer just went off for my green beans. They've been in here for 3 minutes. So what I'm going to do, since I used a pasta pot, I'm just going to pull it up and slowly drain off this water, and then I'll be able to submerge this entire pot right into the ice bath. This will quickly cool off the green beans. So I'm going to turn off the water here, and we're just going to let the green beans cool right here in the our ice bath. And once they're completely cooled, then I'm going to move them to a towel so that they can dry. All right, I believe the green beans are cooled. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull out 1 or 2 just to check. And they're actually cold. This one's actually cold. So I'm going to move them to the towel for drying. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up this pasta pot again. And since it acts as a colander, I might as well make my life a little bit easier. If you don't have a nice pasta pot like this, then just use a slotted spoon. And this helps me get as much of the liquid out as possible, as easily as possible. It's just a little bit faster than pulling it out by a slotted spoon, but there's absolutely no reason that you cannot use a slotted spoon if that's what you have. I'm going to put that back in there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this up and I'm going to dry these green beans. All right, I placed the green beans on a really large jelly roll pan that I've covered with parchment paper. I'm going to separate them so that they're touching as little as possible. And then I'm going to put them in the freezer for 1 to 2 hours until they're frozen solid. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove them from this baking sheet, and I will bag them in 1 pound bags of green beans. So I have about 2 pounds here, so I'll divide them into 2 bags, and then I'll reseal them up in these plastic bags, and then I'll freeze them, and then I'll be able to use them just like I would green beans from the frozen food section, and it's already packaged in a quantity that I'm accustomed to using. So I'm going to put these in the freezer exactly like this. I'm not going to cover them, and I'll put them in there for 1 hour to 2 hours until they're frozen solid, and then I'll pull them out. All right, the green beans are frozen solid. They were in the freezer for almost 2 hours. They might have been done a little bit earlier, but I didn't go and check on them. I got distracted and forgot. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of divide these into half. This is just my easy way of loading them. I'm going to divide them. I know that they're about 2 pounds. And we'll see. I'm just going to try to make them about the same. And I'm just eyeballing it. It's not exact. And then once I have them separated, I have this parchment paper, so what I can do is I can just tear right down the center, like that. And then I have my plastic bag that I'm going to put my green beans in. And then I can put them right in there. I'm going to seal them and try to get as much of the air out as possible. So here we go. I have 2 bags of green beans that are frozen. I blanched them. They took 3 minutes in the hot water, a couple minutes in the ice bath. Then I froze them on a tray for an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then I separated them into bags. Now all I have to do is put the date on them, and then I can keep these in the freezer for up to 6 months, and then I can use these 1-pound bags of green beans in recipes just like I would any other frozen green beans. There are a number of vegetables that you can easily blanch. In my cookbook, I have a list of cooking times for the most common vegetables. You'll find it on page 150 of Prep Ahead Meals from Scratch. And then I have plenty of recipes after that you can use the frozen vegetables. You can also use fresh, and you don't actually have to freeze them yourself. You can actually just buy frozen vegetables, whatever is the most affordable way to get healthy vegetables into your family.